Well, that was Pierre's number.
Hello?
Hey, Samantha, it's Sean Schwartz.
Oh, hey, how are you?
I'm still breathing. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming now.
Gosh, how'd you get there?
I drove. I was able to get a Jeep from my dad. It's expensive and it's not the help I needed, but it's something to stay in.
Right. Well, what was it? Colorado, right?
Do what?
Did you leave Colorado? Is that where you left from?
Yep. I left there months ago. I went to Shannon Alvarado's in California, and then I went to my dad's in Washington State.
Gotcha. So where's your next plan to go?
I don't know. I need a safe place where I can sit down, have an address where I can receive mail, and Cheyenne, that's where I'm at right now. It's close enough that my friends in Colorado might be able to come see me. They're all pretty broke, though.
Right. I understand that.
I got a question. Were you one of the people who was harassed in those Natalie Bollinger groups?
So I was never harassed. I never commented or anything. I live in Virginia, and I used to give Natalie and Alycia rides back to their house from Norfolk to Portsmouth back in like 2015. But besides that, I was never really involved with them. I just witnessed all the harassment from everyone else. Everyone was just being crazy in that group, and I just would sit back and watch it, honestly, at that point.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty mean to people. Most folks did just sit back and watch.
Right.
There was a few people like Aaron Cockerham and people like that had been threatened as well. I don't have her phone number, and I got to wait till I'm off of a Facebook ban to be able to contact her. I really, I don't know. That harassment needed to go reported, but they kept saying that I had to, and I had to keep on going in by myself. So I'm hoping Aaron will make a report. If she does that, then they can subpoena all of my information.
Right. Well, when are you going to be back on Facebook?
I'm not sure.
Right. I understand that.
That's the big thing is that I really didn't want to do all this on Facebook. I mean, if I had my choice about it, I'd have left Virginia, and those young women would have been honest. I mean, there's an understanding where like people keep telling me I need to look at their point of view and their position, and I did while I was in Virginia.
It's not like you haven't.
Do what?
It's not like you didn't. I'm sure you did.
I did. That's why when I texted them both, I was like, if you guys are afraid of me or your families are afraid of me, I understand, because it was a fucked up situation. I'm stuck out in the middle of the road honking my horn,
Right.
So when I texted them and told them, if you're scared of me, I'll leave and I'll never talk to you again, I blocked them that day because Natalie called me on Alycia's phone. They do sound similar, but she said she loved me and she said her family was scared of me, and that's the thing is that I'm the one who offered to leave Virginia. Matter of fact, I was trying to make a report about the police there breaking my vehicle.
Yeah,
and, that's something that was really difficult for me to handle. But Natalie and Alycia were completely different people.
Yeah, they really were like two opposite ends of the spectrum.
I don't know. Natalie told me... Do what?
Huh?
Go ahead.
I've noticed that Alycia is trying to be like Natalie now.
I don't know. I don't really have anything to do with Alycia. I mean, I hope that she'll speak out I hope that she'll tell the truth. I mean, really, what I needed, I don't care about the rest of it. What I want is for Alycia to come forward and say that I didn't rape or molest her, because by Natalie's own accord, by her own admittance on her own Facebook, we didn't have a sexual relationship, and I never intended on having a sexual relationship with her.
Right, right.
I mean, she called me and told me she was going to kill herself because I wasn't in Virginia already, and by that point, I was already 2 months late getting to Virginia. You know, I was thinking about canceling it, and Alycia, she's like, "You're in Virginia? You know, or you're coming to Virginia? You know, we're going back to that direction, right?" And, you know, I didn't even remember that part from Alycia. I just remembered that it was Natalie that I was going there to see. And it wasn't just Natalie. There was a few other people I was going to see.
Right.
Like, there's a guy named Brett Roloff, and he lives in North Carolina. But when I got there, he was in jail. And my friend Mahalia Jean-Pierre, I was supposed to go see her. She was going to try hooking me up with the art scene in Richmond.
Right.
But I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about Alycia for the last 2 years, really, except that she didn't come forward, and I begged them to, you know?
Right.
I mean, I never asked them where they lived. I never asked anything of that nature. I just...
Right. It makes sense. I mean, it's just, what I don't understand is, like, in the standpoint of, like, the other guy, and then her dad and all that bullshit. It's just so dumb.
It is. Why couldn't they just leave me alone? You know?
That's what I'm saying. You were just a friend, and obviously Natalie initiated the friendship in some sort of way. It wasn't, it's not your fault. I mean, she chose that,
Well, her and Alycia both. I mean, they both remembered me from when they were younger, you know? That thing with
Right.
Arturo and them, that's the last time I saw them when they were, you know, little kids. And by Natalie's email that she sent me, you know, she was down there selling drugs for her dad.
Yes, she definitely was. I know that for a fact. He wants to deny it now.
Well, what they did at my grandma's funeral was uncalled for. I'd been...
What they do?
Well, Ted got on Alycia's account, and Alycia had my phone number. She had called me, and Ted got on her account, and I didn't understand how he could be on her account without having my phone number. If he was on her account, then he should have my phone number because she has access to it. Not the number I have now because the old phone got lost, but, you know, a lot of it is that they just didn't understand the repercussions of what they were doing because they're young. And I'm supposed to forgive them, but I don't get to see my family. You know, people had the wrong idea. The news printed all sorts of messed up stuff about me, and Jennifer Dejowski, she's trying to pretend like she's going to try to help me again, but she really didn't do so last time either.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, literally every day is worse for me mentally just because I don't get to see my loved ones, and people don't understand how important that really is.
Right, especially when they don't take that into consideration before they make the actions that they do.
Yeah. Like that phone that I got from Alycia, it didn't register to her that it was probably too broken of a phone for somebody like me who doesn't know crap about smartphones. I mean, I still don't know crap about smartphones. I'm learning a little bit at a time. And it also didn't register to her that when she said that she would show me how to use it, that I didn't know how to use it. I needed her to show me how. And then there's the fact that it was in her name. Like, she was trying to do a nice thing for me because it was my birthday, you know? And I get that, but, you know, I was really resilient to it. I was like, you know, I don't really want the phone. And I knew that, you know, she was trying to give me this phone, and I only saw the back of the case, and it was an HTC phone with light blue trim around it. And that phone was so messed up, like, with everything that happened in Virginia and knowing her family history, I kept that phone as evidence, because a lot of the mean shit that I typed to people, I typed I typed on that phone. I was able to use that phone for the first time to actually get hooked up to Facebook and stuff like that, so I didn't have to go to Starbucks to plug in. But it was in her name, and it never got changed over to mine. So for me, being out of contact with the people that I care about, you know, talking to those people helps me to not have a panic attack. And
right. And that's, you know, sometimes people just need someone to talk to, especially when it's like their family. And, you know, if they ruin that for you, it's pretty fucked up. And, you know, what's funny is that people in those groups, like, those groups have been so dead for so long. And, like, people are basically using her name as a charity case.
I noticed that. I mean, the thing is, she isn't a charity case. I didn't help her out for charity. I helped her out because she saved my life. She literally saved my life.
Right, and it's like people are bashing you, and it's like, you know, I don't know. It's probably because you were in arm's reach, and that's not okay. That's fucked up.
Well, you know, the way that I was painted, it makes perfect sense the way that they went at me, you know. But the other thing is, I'm one of those people who tries to get all of the facts.
Exactly.
And I'm also trying to do all of this work, going from place to place, trying to find a safe environment. And for somebody who's autistic, a safe environment isn't what most people think. Like going to my dad is historically one of those people who, you know, it's his way, and that's just the way that it is. You're going to do what he wants, when he wants, and he's going to change the deal whenever he wants. Like, I couldn't even make phone calls to my friends up there because he kept knocking on my door saying, "You better not be making a video." So finally I made some videos.
Right.
He was pretty angry about that. But the thing is, all of this stuff that I had to do with all of the thousands of people that were involved in harassing me, I mean, I've got so many screenshots of people who are like, "Dude, I can't be your friend. I have to remove myself from you because I'm getting too many threats. I have to turn off my Facebook because I'm getting too many threats." And literally, here's what I wanted. I wanted Natalie and Alycia and Maddie to either tell the truth or take me to court, you know. And they did get a court date, but they made sure they coordinated with the police so that I couldn't go to the court dates. And that's the messed up thing. I mean, they literally did everything they could, including my public pretenders, to not look at the massive quantity of evidence I had. They probably went and looked at it and went, "Ugh."
Right.
But what Brian Valenzuela did, he stole evidence from another county that I needed in order to make a police report. And they're like, "You can do it when you get out." I'm like, "No, you guys aren't understanding. You guys are bullshitting me. I get it."
Right.
What I needed... I actually got out of Natalie. Natalie said on that Facebook post, the last one that she made, the public one, she actually stated on there that we never had a sexual relationship. So, as far as those girls in Virginia that I supposedly molested children and raped, first of all, they weren't children. They were adults. And second of all, I didn't rape Alycia, and I didn't rape Natalie. By Natalie's own admission, there's no issue there.
Right.
But by Alycia, you know, I mean, Alycia, I wanted to have a court date and have her say, "Yeah, Sean didn't rape me. Sean didn't molest me." And that's too much to handle. And there's a lot of that stuff that's in the protection order that, like, staying behind Natalie's work for weeks. Natalie didn't work there. She worked there before I got there. But it was actually Alycia's idea for me to stay there because I was staying at a Starbucks on Military Highway, and the Starbucks where she worked was, or the cricket store where she worked, her boyfriend worked at the Starbucks next door. And actually,
when on Military?
That's not on Military. It's at the Chesapeake Mall.
Oh, okay.
And all the stuff that we did there, like the pictures that I have of the pagoda, I took that picture. That was Natalie and Alycia's idea to take me there. You know, that was what I needed, literally, is people who were happy and pleasant, and even if things weren't going well, we could at least have a few moments of happiness together, and it didn't matter if it was male or female. It was just the fact that after I hurt my back, people were cruel, and I had to deal with people who went out of their way to take things in texting wrong. And with that little flip phone that I had, you only get 160 characters, so I ended up, you remove the I's and the we's and stuff like that, and try to shorten it up so that you can send it, and it's costing me 50 cents every time I send it.
Right.
So I'm trying to get people to call me because I can communicate faster, I can say more quicker.
Right, and that's understandable.
The biggest thing is, I want Rose to at least know the truth. I mean, Natalie did the things that she did in Virginia and all that because she was afraid of what her mom would think. And she was absolutely 100% right about what her mom would think. Natalie and I are both very clairvoyant like that,
Right.
And it's because of experience. She has experience with her mother, same as I have experience with my father. And I was wrong when I told her that I could handle whatever her parents' opinions were. And I was wrong about that.
Right.
But when it all came down to it, it was the fact that phone just wouldn't work. I was arguing on Facebook, and it was calling whenever it wanted, and it was, and I actually took the blame for all of that. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take the blame because I do text bad anyway. But I mean, that phone just sucked. I slept on it one night, probably the second night that I had it. And I woke up in the morning, and I mean, there's all sorts of stuff on my Facebook, and I'm going, oh my God, what is this crap?
Right.
And I don't know, I really felt like shit because it was sending those texts. And I was like, Natalie was going to talk to me on that Monday. And we didn't get to have our talk on that Monday because, well, I hadn't slept. I was dehydrated, and I went to the... I wasn't sleeping. I was trying to explain that I don't sleep when I have severe panic attacks. But also, later on, she claimed that I don't have panic attacks. Now, you can see in those messages that obviously I do. When she rescued me, I was having a panic attack. And my panic attacks last for a long time if I don't have something positive in my life. Somebody to... And I don't need to have fun all day, every day. It's not like I'm going out and snorting coke and drinking beer all day, every day. And if I don't have that all the time, that I'm not happy because I don't drink beer and I don't do coke. It's just the positive energy. And I don't want that to sound all hippie or anything. Am I wasting too much of your time?
No, you're definitely not. I'm on break at work, so.
All right. Well.
But yeah, no, I just definitely having good energy is absolutely the best thing ever. You don't need to go and get fucked up all the time in order to be happy. And as long as you recognize it, that's really good.
Exactly. But the other thing is, I needed somebody to try to understand me. And for them to not just type pretty words at me on Facebook. With Natalie, her panic attacks didn't last very long because she always had people wanting to feed her attention. She was young, she was pretty, she was impressionable, and she was kind,
Right.
I mean, she's got... that draws people in.
And, it definitely does.
I used to be like that. When things changed and I really ended up as fucked up in the head as I was, you'd think that my friends would have recognized that something happened.
Right.
And, for a lot of the people that were threatening me, it started off as just a little rumor when I got to Boulder. It started off with, we heard you stalked some girl in Virginia. And then later on, it was Maddie said that you threatened some girl in Virginia. And then it was Maddie said that you molested some girl in Virginia, and you raped some girl in Virginia. And I'm like, what girls in Virginia? Because I didn't have sex with either one of those two.
Right.
And I needed them to say that in court. That civil court case, I could have shown all the stuff in those groups that were happening.
Right.
And I was prevented from going.
Exactly. And it's like, that's just so not okay.
You know, when they first served me that, I was actually in a hospital. They,
Really?
yeah, I was, what happened is I was sick and tired of all the bullying and the harassment and the threats and the fact that I've got so many screenshots of other people who are like, yeah, people are threatening my life, they're threatening my family. You know, yeah, if I'm dead, then they'll stop harassing people who stick up for me, stop threatening to kill them. And my life sucked. So I decided to go blow my own head off at Macintosh Dairy, but I couldn't get there. And I had made that thread on Facebook to take Natalie and her mother to court, and they used that to say that I was threatening to kill them. The whole Bollinger clan. Now, I outlined in there people who lied and things of that nature. So anybody who is saying that I threatened them in specific is basically admitting to a crime.
Exactly.
I worded it carefully.
They literally are.
Yeah. Well, the police had to cover their own wrongdoing, and that's the thing, is that they did conspire to destroy my life.
Right.
What I'm really afraid of is that I gave Miss Shelley, while I was at Candace's, I gave Miss Shelley the information to all of these people who later on helped me, and with her helping out Ted, I didn't realize all that was going on. I literally gave Ted the opportunity to threaten people who are, well, if he threatened their families, they'll do exactly as he says. And I'm not saying that's what happened, because they won't talk to me, but they did some really cruel stuff that, I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a history of doing it, so I can't blame it on Ted, and that's the part that's really mind-boggling to me, is I don't understand. No, I do understand. For Candace, that would have been scary as shit. That pocket dial and having the officers interact the way that they did, and then coming and harassing her the next day, even though they wouldn't take my report, they went and harassed her.
Right.
Like, that would be scary to anybody, especially somebody with kids. And she got threatened, you know, with being thrown out in the snow.
Exactly. Well, my phone is actually about to die, and I'm about to go back into work, so definitely, like, contact me in a little bit, maybe in, like, a couple hours or so.
Yes, ma'am, I can do that.
Okay, I will talk to you soon, alright?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, take care, bye-bye.
Bye.